Welcome back. You are tuned into Traders Nation. My pleasure to have with us here today Holly Gracie, book author, More Than a Minute. Holly, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Thank you so much.
Good. Listen, you focus on time-proven strategies, Holly, and actual business applications used by companies around the globe in More Than a Minute. Share with us a good example of that.
Sure. Get clear on your definition of success. That is something that makes a huge difference in an organization. We toss around a lot of terms. We talk about being customer-focused or world-class or whatever might be the phrase du jour. Get clear on what that means in your environment. Very specific behaviors. You'll be blown away by how people will actually perform to that.
Yeah, how do we do that? Because, we in business management and even professional levels and even into our personal levels, how do we get rid of all that clutter that we shouldn't have in there? Do we have to revisit ourselves every quarter, every year, annual, or what? How is that done?
Well, these days we're moving so fast. We used to say do your strategic planning once a year.
Sure.
Boy, now you do it once a year, but you better be revisiting it every quarter.
Yeah.
Imagine the differences between the last quarter and this one.
Sure.
And so we are moving really fast. The best thing to do is most of us as adult humans are very visual creatures. This is why we're so driven by our PDAs, our cell phones, etc.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got the right things in front of you.
Okay.
Get them in front of you, keep them in front of you, because you will be driven visually, and your whole body will follow, your thoughts will follow, your energies will follow, etc., by what you've got in front of you. And this applies on a personal level, on a team level, and certainly on a company-wide level.
Yeah, how important is it to think and conduct strategic planning at the company, and then not only that, but also at team levels? Because, you got to get them teams involved, right?
Absolutely. It is so critical. Listen, if you don't know where you're going, any road's going to get you somewhere, but probably not there.
Right.
You've got to define excellence. One of the things I talk about briefly in the book and certainly use a lot in my consulting practice is called success visioning. It's exactly the same thing Olympic athletes, premier level athletes do. Get it clear in your head what it looks like when you get to there, and then back up and develop your plan from that.
Sure.
Make sure, when you say the word vacation, that might mean one thing to one person and a completely different thing to another.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it clear. So strategic planning is the framework to get it clear.
Quick note on that. Vacation to me is 7 days on the beach. Vacation to my boss is 7 days on the beach with me answering the phone calls from him. Okay? That's a good example of different ideas as far as vacation is concerned. All right, so we should map out a plan of execution, shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A strategic plan is sort of the bigger picture. We used to do 10-year plans.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, imagine that today.
Forget it.
Usually about 3 years is what we're looking at today, and then a 1-year operations plans with very specific details. This doesn't mean you don't change it when there are major shifts in your industry, the sector, the markets, etc.
Right, all right. Now, what steps are involved when it comes to uncovering the goals and getting our plan for the organization straight and get going?
Well, you've got to figure out and answer some key questions. The first one is, why do you exist?
Right.
How are you going to behave? Yeah. And that's what some people call values, guiding principles, whatever you want to call it is fine.
Yeah.
What is the value you have to your stakeholders?
Okay.
Get clear on who you serve internally and externally.
Right.
And then where are you going?
Right.
And once you've got those pieces defined, you can start operationalizing it.
Okay. I think that's absolutely fantastic. This is some great ideas. In fact, there are more in More Than a Minute, and we'll give out information towards the end of this interview where you can pick up a copy of the More Than a Minute. But those are absolutely fantastic strategies, if you ask me. All right, Holly? All right. Now, is it micromanaging to realign actions of employees to achieve higher results? I mean, some managers, they just want to be in every move, every word counts to them. Is it micromanaging if we need to realign certain employees at a certain time?
Well, I'll give you the perfect consulting answer. It depends.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It depends on how you do it.
Sure.
People sometimes need to be realigned, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. In fact, I strongly suggest it. Make sure everybody's going in the same direction.
Sure.
But how you do it is a problem. When we see micromanagement today, usually it's because the manager has not been clear on expectations, hasn't defined excellence, hasn't given you sort of the parameters to work within or really clearly explain the result.
Yeah.
And so they have to get involved in too many details.
Okay.
Because you're guessing and speculating and making decisions that probably don't align.
Right. Okay.
So if we do the front part well, the rest of it falls into place.
All
And
right.
it's a fascinating dilemma we're faced with today is everybody wants to run so fast and not pause and take that time to do the first piece well.
Every business is a living, breathing thing. So at some point, we always aren't we? We're constantly readjusting ourselves, aren't we? Because you know the business is moving, the market conditions for that business is moving, etc. So aren't we under constant review of realigning ourselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're looking, if you're not giving me the feedback directly, I'm looking for it in behaviors and, oh, my God, he didn't say good morning today. It means I'm going to lose my job kind of stuff.
Yeah, what's wrong? Or somebody dresses up really nice when they usually don't. All right, so shouldn't we continue to learn and leverage our strengths?
You know, you need to get feedback, so you need to seek feedback. It doesn't matter what level of the organization you're in. You first got to really seek feedback.
Yeah.
Find people you trust that are going to shoot straight with you.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily recommend trying to take something that's a real weakness and change it dramatically.
Okay.
Leverage what you're good at. Surround yourself with other people and things and resources to shore up your weaknesses. Doesn't mean you shouldn't constantly try to work on them, but that shouldn't be the primary focus.
Should employees come up to their boss and say, "Listen, I know it's not review time, and I'm not looking for a raise, but can we sit down for 5 minutes? I want to make sure that we're going in the right direction, and that I'm doing the job that you want me to be doing."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And first off, they shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
There should be regularly scheduled one-on-ones that is the employee's time, not the manager's time.
Right.
And we give you, list of questions and things you can talk about and some sort of thought-provoking ideas in that regard in the book.
Sure.
But if you do have to, if your manager doesn't have that sort of operating practice or discipline, then you should do it.
Right.
Being an employee is not a one-way street.
Right. Okay. All right. Where can we find a copy More Than a Minute today?
You can get it in all of your bookstores, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com.
Yeah.
You can link to the MoreThanAMinute.com website, and that'll shoot you straight to Amazon.com as well.
All right, today we have Holly Green, of course, a book author of More Than a Minute, How to Be an Effective Leader and Manager in Today's Changing World. Holly, of course, pleasure having you on today.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You're more than welcome. Head on over to our website today, folks, and plus, head on out to your favorite bookstore. Wherever fine books are sold, you can get a copy of More Than a Minute. Amazon.com is a great place to go. Barnes & Noble. Or support your local bookstore. The guy that's on the corner needs your business, too. All right? More Than a Minute. Holly Green.